Hello, friends. Today I've brought a fantastic movie for all of you. You'll all love this movie, and I request that you please watch the movie till the end, like the video, and subscribe to the channel. This is the story of an Earth where a solar flare wiped out all modern technology. The entire planet was plunged into darkness. Governments around the world collapsed, and warlords using their wealth and power began ruling over different territories. 6 years later, we meet the world's greatest treasure hunter, Jake. He enters a rundown, abandoned hotel. Inside, there's a penthouse filled with musical instruments scattered everywhere. Jake starts tampering with a bookshelf in the room. Behind the bookshelf, he discovers a hidden door. Jake uses explosives to blow the door open. He connects a battery he brought with him to an electrical socket in the wall. Using the fingerprints left on the keypad of a nearby locker, he begins guessing the password. After several attempts, he finally cracks it open. Inside the locker, there are numerous musical records, but Jake plays only one specific record, the one whose name matches the password. As the music plays, another locker opens. Inside this one lies a beautiful violin. But just then, a group of thugs dressed as police officers burst in. Seeing the violin in Jake's hands, they demand he hand it over, but Jake pulls out his gun. One by one, he starts taking them down with his shotgun. He kills one man with a blade, and when their leader picks up that same blade, he too explodes. Jake takes the violin to a high-security palace. He delivers it. This is an antique violin that no one had been able to find until now. A woman there tells Jake that King August has another job for him across the channel. They're willing to pay him well, but Jake refuses, saying there's nothing over there but disease. He flatly declines and walks away. The woman reports this back to August. August tells her to make him an offer he can't refuse. Meanwhile, Jake returns home. He's fortified this place heavily to keep out any intruders. Jake feeds his dog, then puts on the musical record he found in the locker and pours himself a drink. As Jake falls asleep, he begins dreaming that he's on a boat in the middle of a beautiful ocean, but suddenly he hears a noise outside his house. It's one of August's soldiers, informing Jake that the king is waiting for him at the wrecking yard. Jake heads over there. August has brought a boat for him. He praises Jake's skill at finding lost treasures, but Jake tells him to focus on the food storage problem in his territory instead. August says these things can't be fixed with a snap of the fingers. They're trying to rebuild everything, but a man named General Vololov is making things difficult for them. August calls him an agent of chaos. August sets himself apart from Vololov. He promises to give Jake this boat and make him a free man, but in exchange, Jake will have to find and bring back the Mona Lisa painting for him. Hearing this, Jake says, but Paris was one of the first cities to burn down. August replies, yes, but when the solar flare hit, the French government hid all their national treasures in a secret storage facility, and now Jake's job is to find that painting. August will provide Jake with all the resources he needs. So, tempted by the boat, Jake agrees. Jake goes and tells August's assistant that if he doesn't come back from there, she should take care of his dog. The assistant says, try not to die. So, Jake arrives at August's arranged plane, but this plane is already in terrible condition. It has bullet holes all over it. August explains to Jake that they'll drop him off from a different plane and then tells him the route he needs to follow and how to proceed. Some rebels in that area who are allied with August will help Jake along the way. So, at 10 p.m., Jake boards the plane and takes off. Even the plane's seatbelts are broken. The pilot starts panicking when he notices some malfunctions. He's not sure if their gauges are working properly or not. He tells Jake to put on a parachute just in case, but Jake has never used a parachute before in his life. He falls asleep in the plane for a little while. He has that same ocean dream again, and this time there's a girl with him on the boat. But suddenly, Jake's eyes snap open. Their plane is being fired upon. The pilot urgently tells him to jump. He brings the plane down a bit lower and makes Jake jump from 4,000 feet. Jake lands and starts moving forward. The surrounding area is engulfed in flames. People are hanging from nuisance. Then a tank bursts through a wall and takes aim at Jake, but some other people arrive and throw a bomb into the tank. Without saying a word to Jake, they leave. This area actually belongs to the warlord Vololov.
He's an extremely cruel warlord, but he loves playing chess. Anyone who goes against Vololov, he plays chess with them, and if his opponent doesn't play well, he kills them. Just then, Vololov learns that a parachute came down from the airplane they've been firing at. Vololov puts all his soldiers and informants on alert to find this visitor, Jake. Jake is currently 80 kilometers away from them. He reaches a destroyed area. Jake takes off his clothes and puts on old, worn-out ones to blend in with the locals. Here, Volkov's soldiers are announcing to the people that rations will only be given to citizens loyal to Vololov. All rebels will be killed. As Jake continues forward, some soldiers stop him. Jake gets into a fight with them. He takes them all down one by one. Another soldier who arrives later is killed by a girl named Drea. Drea will be accompanying Jake on this mission. Covering their faces, they slip through the crowd and escape. Jake even makes eye contact with one soldier. Jake and Drea reach an abandoned church. The father there gives them a map that was just found by rebels who died in the town square. In the garage, there's also a bulletproof truck with 1,000 horsepower for Jake's onward journey. The father shows them their next destination on the map, but this same map has some secret codes written on it. Drea treats Jake's wounds from his recent fight, but just then Vololov's soldiers surround the church. They order everyone to come out. Hearing this, the father tells Drea and Jake to escape. He goes outside himself and says he's the only one in the church, but some soldiers go inside to check. They spot Jake sitting in the truck inside, but from behind, Drea attacks them.
Outside, the soldiers kill the father, but Jake and Drea manage to escape. The soldiers chase after them. There's a checkpoint ahead, but Jake drives the truck right over it. Now Jake is being attacked by tanks as well, but he's dodging everything. After a long chase, when the bikers get close to them, Drea throws hand grenades at them, but the tank won't stop pursuing them. So Jake maneuvers the tank's attacks to hit their own vehicles instead. Somehow, they escape from there. Stopping at one point, Jake asks Drea what's so important that they're risking their lives for a painting. Drea explains it's because of Volkov. Actually, Volkov is also searching for the vault, and in this vault, besides the paintings, there are many weapons that absolutely cannot fall into his hands under any circumstances, meaning the rebels are helping Jake to get those weapons. Then Drea gives Jake a paper boat, saying, "May you get what you want too." But along with them, Volkov is also heading toward the church location with his train. Vololov becomes furious when he learns that just 2 people outnumbered so many of his soldiers and escaped. In his anger, he has this commander killed. Meanwhile, Jake reaches his destination, but Drea is terrified because this is Wraith territory. Jake learns that the Wraiths are people who, after being locked in prison for so long, started killing and eating humans. And just then, a flare goes off. Drea and Jake start searching for the vault, but Jake says there's nothing here. Maybe everything was moved to another secure location long ago. They went upstairs and saw bullet shells scattered everywhere. They entered the base commander's room hoping to find some records there. Jake found a diary in a hidden compartment. It was in French, so Drea translated it for Jake. But Jake doesn't trust the coordinates written in this diary. They seem too easy. This must be a misdirection. But just then, an entire army of Wraiths is approaching from outside. Meanwhile, Jake decodes the secret code from the map and discovers the vault's real location. He and Drea escape before the Wraiths arrive. As soon as the Wraiths get there, Jake's rigged grenade explodes. Drea informs her other companions about the real location, but Volkov arrives there from behind. Using a UV light on the map, he sees Drea's fingerprints and figures out the real location. Before leaving, he also kills a Wraith that was still alive. Meanwhile, Jake and Drea reach the vault's location, but the vault is completely sealed. They'll need to find a way inside. Some machines here are still running. That means they must be powered by solar panels. Drea finds a blueprint of the building. 2 air filters lead into the vault, so Jake decides he'll go inside through this air duct. But to get there, they first need to cut the power to the air filter's fans. So Drea heads out to find the solar panels so she can cut the power, and Jake moves toward the air ducts. He finds a rope there. Jake ties one end of the rope and attaches the other end to himself, then descends into the air duct. A giant fan is spinning inside, and at the same time, Jake's rope starts fraying.
Now, if Drea doesn't shut down the solar panels, Jake will fall onto the fan and die. But Drea destroys the solar panels just in time. The fan stops, Jake's rope breaks, and he falls down. But ahead, he'll have to go through water. Jake starts looking for a way out of the vault through the water, but the passage he finds is locked. Jake will have to break through it or he'll die from lack of air underwater. Jake uses all his strength to open the cage and saves his life. He opens the vault door from the inside, but it turns out that the Mona Lisa painting was actually a nuclear weapon. Drea explains that the USA built 2 nuclear weapons for Japan and also made one for Russia, and this is the key to that bomb. But Drea says August doesn't want the bomb, he just wants to keep it away from Volkov. But Jake doesn't believe any of this. For him, neither August nor Volkov is trustworthy. Jake leaves Drea behind, saying, "I'm not helping you with any of this." So Drea's other companions arrive there. Drea gives them the bomb key and tells them to leave. But as soon as they start loading the bomb, Volkov's soldiers attack them. Within moments, they kill all the rebels. The nuclear weapon falls into Volkov's hands, but as he's leaving, Jake stops. He looks at the paper boat Drea gave him and decides to turn back to help her. But when he gets there, everyone is dead. Only Drea is somehow still alive. But Drea has given up now. The very thing they were trying to prevent, they ended up causing themselves. But Jake says they need to get that bomb back. He tells Drea to build a bomb so they can blow up the bridge in the train's path. Jake gathers some supplies from the vault. As he leaves, he blows up the vault as well. Now, Vulov's train is moving slowly due to low visibility. Drea and Jake catch up to it, but Vulov doesn't like the train going slow. In his anger, he kills the train conductor right there. The train starts moving at full speed. But Jake has already reached the overpass. He jumps onto the train. Jake enters the train and starts throwing hand grenades, killing the soldiers. He's taking them down with punches, kicks, guns, everything. Meanwhile, Drea reaches the bridge. She needs to set up the bomb here. After killing everyone, Jake reaches Vulov. They get into a fistfight. Jake defeats Vulov and takes the nuclear bomb key from around his neck. At that moment, the bomb explodes on the bridge, and the train crashes straight down below the bridge. Drea thinks Jake died in it too. She starts crying, but Jake comes up from behind and says, "Hey," to her. Jake brought the key with him too. He goes and gives this key to August. Now, even though the bomb is lying in a crashed train in some gorge, it can't detonate without this key. Jake heads straight to his boat. Drea joins him there. And with that, friends, this story comes to an end right here.
If you liked the movie, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more amazing videos. See you in the next video.
The nuclear bomb key from around his neck.